Sabrina, I figure we should get started.
Yeah.
We've got an amazing topic for folks today. We're really excited about a new big feature release from on the AI side of our product called skills analysis. I'm really excited to tell you more about this. Forever in learning, measurement has always been a challenge. We've had our smile sheets, we've had our Kirkpatrick scales, but the capabilities now that we have with AI really do take measurement to the next level. So excited to take you through the feature, give you a little demo as we go through. But I'm thrilled to be joined by my amazing colleague, Sabrina, who runs our coaching and learning experience team. Sabrina, thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me. Hello, everybody. Excited to see you.
Let's dive in. For folks that are familiar with Hone, you may know this. For folks that are new to us, let me just give you a quick overview of who we are. Hone is really a new kind of learning and development platform. We think of ourselves as an AI-powered people development platform, really with the goal of helping every employee perform at their best. We got started many years ago. This is my second startup. Co-founded this with my co-founder Savina, really with this mission to bring the latest technology to democratize access to world-class development experiences. And it's funny to say it now, but in 2018, the new technology on the block was a platform called Zoom, where we were able to democratize access to live, interactive, coach-based classes, which has been the backbone of the Hone experience for many years, and one of the things that people really know us for. We have the world's largest platform, library of live online classes across leadership management and people skills topics. And in the last couple of years, we've really invested in a new dimension of the platform, which is our AI coach that can do many things. It can tutor and teach skills, it can role play skills. And now, as we're announcing today, it's got this incredible ability to analyze skills and help you understand how to get better. So it really is a multimodal platform, and we're proud to serve hundreds of top companies across the different industry spectrums with live and AI leadership and management development. Why does the world need another way of doing and measuring development right now? I think as we all feel day to day, the pace of change is accelerating. It's never been faster, and AI just keeps getting better and changing the way that we work fundamentally. Roles are developing and changing, and in some cases, new roles are appearing. In some cases, roles may disappear. And so the workplace, especially in the talent development space, is very dynamic, and we need better tools to both analyze that and help people close skills gaps. We're seeing expectations rise for the pace that people are able to work and the multiple skills and impacts that individuals can have, especially as new technologies come online at our organizations. But I think one of the things that makes Hone special, that we talk about and care about every day, is that despite all of these new amazing technical capabilities that AI gives us, really work is fundamentally human, and the change that must happen in order to embrace AI and these new ways of working is human change. It's behavior change for the people on the front lines using the tools. And it's especially the human leadership and management skills that are required to drive change into the kind of unknown in some ways, with a lot of uncertainty, but critical importance of making these changes. And so the leadership of change, the embrace of change, and the agility and resilience that takes are fundamentally human skills. And the great news is that AI can help us learn and teach those skills as well. Just to double click real quick on the broader Hone ecosystem before we dive into our new skills analysis feature. Like I said earlier, we are a rich platform of multiple modalities with this big catalog of 150 or so live coach delivered classes that we offer, combined with a number of AI driven experiences. We'll see a little bit of the others today, but we have AI lessons where the AI teaches you a skill, AI role plays that we'll see today that is a great way to practice a high stakes conversation before it has to happen. An AI coach that's always on, whether that's in Hone or Slack or Teams, to support people in the flow of work. And now, as you can see a little sample of in the bottom, we have AI analyzing skills as a way for the learner and the organization to know how people stack up on certain critical human skills and to create personalized pathways to improve that. So that's the ecosystem at a high level. Let's talk about skills analysis. And to talk through the thoughtful methodology behind how we've built this feature, I'll pass it to Sabrina.
Thanks, Tom. All right, the fun part too. So why does skills analysis matter? Or excuse me, skills intelligence matter? What we know about adult learners is that they value agency and ownership of their own growth, right? They come in learning with a lot of experience, and learning resonates more when they have space to reflect on that experience and just be able to connect it to what's happening in their work. So they want to leave a learning moment and immediately be able to apply it to their next meeting or their next conversation or their next project. And to make that possible, the experience just can't be just instructional, right? It has to create opportunities to practice. And that's a big part of what motivates people to show up in the first place. Knowing that they can use that skill right away really makes the effort feel worth it. And so that's where skills intelligence becomes important, right, Tom? It creates visibility into skill development in a way that supports reflection and practice and application so that then learning feels immediately useful and not abstract.
Yeah, exactly. And sometimes it can feel like you're working or performing into a void, not knowing how your skills are landing, even if you've been part of a learning program. How well are you really behaving differently because of that learning experience? Well, now skills analysis through AI is going to be able to tell you.
Absolutely. I love that point, right, Tom? I might give feedback all the time, but I'm not getting scored on it. I'm not seeing how I'm growing and learning over time. And so this is really great for things like that.
Yeah, exactly. And for people that like computer games like me, getting a score makes you really competitive. It makes you want to get better at the skill, and that becomes useful in the real world. It's really a great experience.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think one other thing I would double down on too is that we've known that this is how adult learners operate for 40 years now. Since the mid 80s, we've had the understanding of adult learning principles. And but unfortunately, sometimes because we all have business objectives and things that we have to accomplish, we don't always get to apply that to the learning experiences on that individual level. And so a little bit of the skills intelligence can really help us to take that to the next level where it's going to be easier for us to be able to give adult learners what drives them the learning and in a way that drives them the best without making it infinitely harder.
Yeah, exactly. And I think as a jumping off point, understanding how someone's skills stack up mean that they see which gaps they specifically have to close, and we can
Mhm.
focus their learning in a personalized way just to those needs, as opposed to giving kind of a broad brush approach to everybody learning everything the same. Now, with a sense of their skills profile, we can direct them again using AI to the right learning experiences for them and make that a personalized learning journey.
Absolutely. Ooh, let's talk about skills analysis.
Sounds good. Yeah. And as I should have said, if folks have thoughts or questions, thanks, Nick, for dropping one in there in the chat. Please do put your questions in there as we go along. We're going to get into some good gory detail on our skills taxonomy and how the product works. So happy to take any and all questions that we see there. All right, let's get into it.
All
Sabrina.
right. What's super cool about skills analysis? I don't know, you saw my energy just went up a little bit, but what's super cool about our skills analysis is that it isn't generic AI feedback. It is grounded in a very specific skills model, and that's the high impact skills that people need for modern work. So the reason why that matters is credibility. Right. At home, we didn't decide to do skills analysis because it's trendy. This comes from years of being focused on skills at home and from building a skills architecture that's curated around about 50 skills. And those skills weren't created in a vacuum. We built them by synthesizing multiple inputs. So things like direct learner survey data, customer requests, future of work research, and national research on things like durable skills so that the set of skills stays relevant, in demand, and aligned to what modern work actually requires. And then we add structure through proficiency. So for each skill, we define levels of proficiency using a behavioral rubric that as an example on the bottom left of the screen. So we're not labeling someone as good or bad at something. We're describing observable behaviors that show up in real interactions, things you actually hear in a conversation in the workplace. And that's important because you can't make skills visible unless you're clear about what you're measuring. And so when the criteria are observable, the reflection becomes methodical and it gives people a real and concrete understanding of what they're doing well and what to work on next. So, gives us so many different options.
Yeah, no, thanks, Sabrina. I think it's a really thoughtful approach, and we see a bit of the skills rubric that we've created here on the screen. 50 different skills, as you said, distilled from a lot of experience and different research sources as a ready-to-go skills taxonomy for leadership and people skills in this AI era, and multiply those 50 skills by the 5 levels of mastery that or proficiency that we have on the left. So 250 kind of data points or descriptions of what skills look like at different levels that the AI is trained on and trained to look for, where each of those 250 descriptions is very behaviorally targeted to a point where it can be observable in an objective way by the AI. So there's a lot of work that's gone into this over the last 6 or 12 months, and proud to launch that into the product today.
Absolutely. Yeah, really fun. And what also what we know is that many practice tools rely on rigid scripts or pre-programmed scenarios, and that limits how closely practice maps to actual real work. When the experience is constrained in that way, it's harder for learners to rehearse the conversations that they're actually preparing for. And so home role plays are different because they're dynamic and user driven. Learners can bring a real situation they're facing, set the context, and practice the conversation as it would realistically unfold at work. So that way, they are also able to adjust the variables that matter: tone, reactions, context. So they're not practicing a single fixed path. And so they're building skills under conditions that more closely resemble real conversations. And that's what makes the practice valuable. It's relevant, it's flexible, and directly connected to the next meeting or the next project or the next conversation they need to have.
Yeah, absolutely. And we need a way to show the AI how you perform. Right now, we're deploying that against our role players on the platform, but in future, there are opportunities to have more passive observation of people in the workplace so that we can continuously build a profile of their skills. So,
Yeah.
are we ready for the video, Sabrina?
Let's show it to them.
Sounds good. So what we're going to see is a recorded demo of first the role play and then the skills analysis of the role play. Hone AI, our AI coach, will be speaking to one of our teammates, Linda, who's doing a role play around the skill of coaching. To Sabrina's point, the first segment of the experience is Linda and Hone AI talking about what is the scenario, because we want to make it real. We don't want to just script a fictional scenario for a role play. We want to make it your scenario with your team and their personalities. And so it captures that and then takes the other side. So I'll show you that, and then we'll get into the role play and skills analysis.
Hey, Linda. In this session, you'll role-play a coaching conversation so you can strengthen your ability to coach others using a simple, practical model. Ready to get started?
Yes, let's do it.
Great. Could you share the context of a coaching conversation you need to have, or would you prefer to use a hypothetical scenario?
I can share the context of a conversation. I have a member of my team, his name is Robbie, and it seems like he's having some difficulty prioritizing work. When other priorities come in from other colleagues, he gets derailed and he works on that work immediately for them. I want to help him prioritize so that he can meet his deadlines while being a good collaborator with his colleagues.
Which of these personas would you like to role-play with for this scenario?
I think Robbie's pretty relationship driven.
Great. I'll be the person you're coaching. Let's begin. Hi, Linda. Thanks for meeting with me. I'm having trouble prioritizing my work because I want to be a good collaborator, but I keep missing deadlines.
Great. So a couple of things there. First of all, if that's your first experience of Hone AI, you can see just how real time and realistic the voice is. It's a conversation two-way. And we saw Linda, who's now famous, but also in the chat. If you want to ask her questions, she was interacting to say she has a person on the team, Robbie, and she got to pick the personality that the AI will take on when the AI role plays Robbie. So we've constrained the scenario to coaching, but we're using an example from Linda's real work life. Moving on.
Hey, Linda.
We'll get into the role play. So again, the AI is going to take on the other side and be Robbie, and Linda's going to show some coaching skills for the AI to analyze.
Hey, Robbie, thanks for bringing this issue to me. I'd be happy to talk through it and help you find a solution. What are some things that you think you might do about this?
Right now, I'm trying to handle everything as it comes, but it's not working well. I think the biggest barrier is not having a clear system to prioritize tasks.
Yeah, I definitely agree, and that sounds like a true need, a system. Are there any systems you can think of that you can put into place today?
One option could be setting specific times to check and respond to new requests, so they don't interrupt my current tasks. Another could be creating a priority list at the start of each day to help guide what I focus on.
Yeah, sounds like pretty good options. Which one would you like to choose?
I'm choosing to set specific times to check and respond to new requests. This should help me stay focused on my current tasks while still being responsive.
So there was some good coaching there from Linda where she was validating and asking some questions. Robbie had some options, and then Linda suggested that he move ahead with one. And so we'll see what the AI thinks of that approach in a second. There's two parts to how Linda's going to get this feedback. One is verbally from the AI coach so that she can ask questions about the feedback and analysis. And then second, there's a report card or analysis style dashboard that shows her various things about her performance. So we'll see both of those now.
Thank you for participating, Linda. Your communication was clear and supportive, which helped Robbie feel comfortable sharing his thoughts. One area for improvement could be to explore more options with Robbie to ensure a comprehensive approach. You might also consider adapting your tone to explore his feelings and motivations further. Do you have any final questions before we wrap up?
Yeah, how could I have adapted my tone differently to explore more deeply?
To explore more deeply, you could use a curious and open tone, asking questions like, how does it feel when you have to shift priorities? Or, what motivates you to respond immediately to requests? This approach can help uncover underlying motivations and emotions, providing a more comprehensive understanding of the situation.
Thank you.
As you move forward, what is one thing you're taking away from this role play conversation?
I think one goal for me is to really focus on asking exploratory, open questions that can help me get to the root of how somebody might be feeling or what might be motivating them to act a certain way.
Thank you, Linda. I wish you the best in your coaching conversations. Have a great day.
Excellent. So we saw the dialogue after the fact to understand the feedback that Linda was getting and ask questions to go deeper on it. And then what we saw quickly on the screen that we'll dive into next is that written report of the analysis of Linda's performance. The first part at the top of that screen synthesizes everything that we've got in our rubric and that we've designed into the scenario to pull out some just key strengths and opportunities in a summary sense. So here we can see that Linda was effectively encouraging Robbie to reflect on his challenges and was supportive in tone. Definitely isn't always the case in coaching conversations, so it's great to champion that positive from how Linda performed. But as you heard, when Robbie shared a couple of options, the coaching just continued to pick one from there. And so the AI is suggesting that maybe Linda could explore trying to generate more options in future and push Robbie to think more deeply about how to solve his problem. And maybe secondly here, adapting tone to dive deeper into what's underneath some of the challenges. Some nice positives to celebrate and also some opportunities to take Linda's coaching skill to the next level. Below that in the report, we really get more granular in a couple of different ways. The first is each scenario comes with a checklist of things that the user has to do. In this case of a coaching scenario, the three things are ask questions to identify next steps on the left here, structure the conversation for easy understanding, and invite input from the recipient. So it's a two-way coaching conversation. And Linda checked all three boxes. So in some ways, she's passed this scenario. However, in the middle, what we're using is a more granular rubric, the one that we showed earlier that Sabrina introduced of these 50 different skills and 5 different proficiency levels to really give you a ongoing sense of how you are performing on the relevant skills to this scenario. Those skills in this case are communication, collaboration, and coaching. And we can see that there's a personalized analysis underneath each score, but Linda scored 4 on communication and collaboration with the reasons there for the clarity that she showed and a few ways that she can improve. But on the coaching dimension, she was proficient, 3 out of 5. But there are some ways that she can improve, as we talked about, like generating more options or the depth of the questioning to get underneath. So, really nice snapshot at a high level, and then some very personalized feedback on those skills dimensions based on that 250 data point skills rubric behind the scenes. Before we talk about next steps, Sabrina, anything that you wanted to call out here from the analysis?
What I really love about the analysis is earlier we were talking about how it's truly observing things that would happen in actual conversation, right? So everything that's on our checklist and skills and next steps literally comes from the conversation that Linda was having with Hone AI. And so we have designed our skills rubric in a way that can pick up observable things and really be able to give Linda a very objective and targeted view at exactly how that conversation went. And what I really love about it is on our skills. Ideally, we want to be proficient in as many skills as possible, but there's still opportunity to become even more proficient and get to a level of masterful. And so you can see here that not just being proficient is not the end of the road. You can be proficient and then you can still see the places where you have an opportunity to grow and just take it to the next level. And that will be something that if you're taking multiple Hone AI sessions, wherever that skill shows up, each one of them is going to demonstrate how good you are, or how, not how good you are, but how proficient you are at a skill from a lot of different lenses. So I think it's really super cool. And then lastly, it gives you an opportunity to explore other lessons that will help you to grow the skills that are demonstrated here.
Yeah, exactly. And so on the far, we have a library of handcrafted AI conversations that will teach the skill like a tutor that we call a lesson, different to the role play that we just looked at, where it's introducing more of a framework like the GROW coaching model for a coaching conversation. And so what the AI is recommending here is some extra resources for Linda to go on and deepen that skill. So it isn't just a role play diagnostic, it's actually recommending interventions and future coaching conversations that the AI can have to help close the skills gap that was identified.
Another thing I love about this, Tom, too, is that checklist changes with each lesson, right? Those are not the appropriate checklist items for every lesson. Even if another lesson is about feedback or coaching or something that's very similar to this lesson, the checklist items are curated specifically for that. So you're not you're not being scored on the same exact thing in each lesson. It's nuanced to capture the important components of that particular lesson and set of skills.
Yeah, absolutely. We got some questions or comments in the chat from Kelly, from Zachary about the personality of the AI. It sounded a little bit too easy on the other side there. Sabrina, I know you've wrestled to really push the personality of the AI on the other side into a more defensive or difficult character, if that's what the user requests. And it is really up to the user on that. Maybe you can speak to some of the different personalities that you can create on the other side.
Yeah, absolutely. Just depending on the lesson. So, for example, in our coaching lesson, it asks you to give a little bit of context about the person that you'll be coaching. Are they relationship driven, like Robbie is? Maybe they are really excited about growth and they come into this session like raring to go. Maybe they're a little bit nervous, or maybe they are in a defensive mode. Maybe this is not a conversation they want to have. So, it gives you the opportunity to select from those different types of personas. And to the question in the chat, too, if one of those personas is not exactly what you need, you can describe to Hone AI this person or how you expect them to show up, and it will match it with the most appropriate role that's available. And what I love about Hone AI, not just building it, but using it, I think what's really fantastic is that it allows you to pivot. Right? You can stop and ask it questions. You can stop and say, you know what? I think I might choose a different persona, and it will help to meet you with the scenario that matches what you need in that moment.
Yeah, 100%. Thanks, Sabrina. A couple of more great questions in the chat. To Kristen's point, this is a great conversation and an analysis based on that, but it is a snapshot of how you showed up in just this conversation. And that's right. That's how this works as we reviewed it today. What we're building is a more ongoing kind of aggregate analysis of someone's skills over time. So you can see the different snapshots and how they build a richer picture of someone, but also with enough data, how that skills profile evolves over time. So you can see people getting better because of their own efforts and the interventions that we're able to provide here at home, both AI and live, right? Because this applies to someone's growth journey through multiple modalities. Robin asked, can we do this for customer conversations? So I'm assuming that's not just managerial conversations, but conversations that people might want to practice with external customers. Sabrina?
Yes, absolutely. That's a really great thing about our leveraging our AI powered learning is that we are able to build different custom scenarios. And so some of the things that we've built in the background, I know Linda mentioned it in the chat, but we've literally built a custom role play for a customer to be able to mimic a customer conversation, like a call center customer conversation. We've also built in the background the session around sales pitch and being able to say, I'm talking to a functional leader, or I'm talking to a procurement officer, I'm talking to an advisor. And so that's what's really cool about everything that we're doing. Not just are we able to assign a skill to something, but we're able to really customize how Hone AI, the learning experience that we're able to offer through Hone AI. And just with everything that we have scaffolded in the background, we're able to meet those customized needs. And we're just really excited and about building more of them.
Absolutely. Yeah. And so we have a library of off-the-shelf scenarios that, as you heard, can be tailored quite a lot to an individual's situation. And we work with our customers to build custom scenarios where they can be more prescriptive about both the situation and the checklist for how someone needs to perform there. So to Sabrina's point, sky's the limit in terms of the different scenarios that we can create. Real quick, before we bottom line this in a couple of different ways, I see a question about reporting data, which is a great one. What we're showing here today is what the learner themselves sees as their own report in this scenario. And obviously, they can use this to check where they're at and find next steps to get better. We're also launching an administration analytics dashboard that allows talent teams, HR teams, L&D teams to see skills in aggregate. That's not launched yet, but there's more details of that coming soon. Watch this space for more info there. Okay, Sabrina, to tie it all together, I'll pass it back to you.
Yeah, but this is fun. Just thinking as learning and development professionals, a lot of us have been doing this work for a long time. We know most organizations stop at level 1 reaction. Did you like the training? Where people tell you they react to their enjoyment of the training or if they thought it was a valuable use of their time. But liking training doesn't tell you whether somebody can actually do anything differently at work. It doesn't tell you if they are able to meet the learning outcomes that have been identified for that learning. And so we really desire to get to level 2, where you're actually assessing learning. Did the person actually build that skill or capability? Can they walk out of that learning experience and do the thing? And so this is where our skills intelligence changes that conversation. So it validates readiness by assessing performance against that clear skill criteria. And it gives people guidance, as you've seen in the last few slides, based on their current skill level, instead of pushing everyone through the same one-size-fits-all path. And when we're talking about adult learners, right, that is key. They don't want one-size-fits-all learning, and it doesn't work for them. And that's exactly the shift that skills intelligence gives us, the ability to move away from one size fits all to tailored to their needs, and from did they like it to can they do it, with a clear next step based on where each learner is. And so when adults can see where they are and what to do next, the learning feels relevant and just really worth their time. It's just, as a learner, right, Tom, we're learners. It's super exciting to be able to see that and have it customized to me and have us be able to, at an organizational level, not just look at a smile sheet, right, but be able to say, Tom came out of that conversation with better coaching skills, or Sabrina came out with better feedback skills. So it's just super exciting about what we're able to show adult learners to help them really get excited about learning experiences.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Sabrina. And I think taking clearly methodologically, it is a vast improvement on what we're able to do, but also then strategically as talent or L&D or HR leaders, it gives us tools that we've never had before, to your point, to be able to reach scale with a personalized one-to-one learning and coaching experience that hasn't been possible before. Maybe we've known what we've wanted because we've had this adult learning theory for 40 years or so about relevance and timeliness and feedback signals and autonomy. But giving people that at scale means that you get stuck with e-learning, which we know doesn't deliver the goods in many ways, or you have to do a high cost one-time training experience for not as many people as you would like. And there's just the practicalities of scaling something one-to-one is just expensive and difficult. AI unlocks a 10 or even 100x improvement in the ability to scale both access and efficacy, given its intelligence to analyze people's skills and then deploy the right personalized intervention that could be AI driven or could be human driven. And that's why we have both modalities on our platform. We know that different skills or different people need different modalities, but AI at the core can help to understand where someone's at and craft that multimodal pathway for them. So we're really excited to be pioneering AI under the hood here for skills analysis and then AI and human interventions together to drive the most powerful behavior change experience on the market.
Yeah.
If you would like to try it, we would love that. We have a 2-week free trial of Hone AI if you would like to come and check it out and try it for yourself and your team. So either go to the bit.ly link down here, bit.ly customer we're proud to serve, or follow the QR code or follow the link in the chat to sign up for a conversation. We'd love to show you a little bit more of it and have you test it out yourself. So with that, thank you for joining us for this quick overview of skills analysis and Hone AI. We'd love to talk more. Drop us a line at the link or the QR code, and we hope to see you soon. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.